Estimates roots. Estimate to the nearest integer. Lesson 1-9. Square root of 197. Now you have to think that 197, what is this number in between the two integers? Which means that you need to think of a square of a number that this 195 in between those two numbers, or 97, sorry. So let's see first. We have 10 square, 100 too small. 11 square, 121 also too small. Think of 12 square. 12 square is 144, also too small. 13 square is 169 or 169. Let's try one more to 14 square. 14 square, okay, 14 square, that gives you a 196. Okay, this is the 14 square, that's pretty close enough. So obviously another number will give you a 15 square. Do not know what, you don't need to bother with this section. Now think, is 197, is it close to this section or close to this section? I am sure you don't need to multiply this to get to this number. Obviously 197 close to this section, 196. So therefore, to the nearest integer, that will give you 14. How about 85.1? 85. If you think 7 square 49, 8 square 64, 9 square 81. Okay, you have 9 square that will give you 81, and then 10 square that will give you 100. Now think, is 85.1 close to 81 or close to 100? This one close to 81, so that will give you 9 as integer. Now for the third root, you do the same thing. Think of, this is to the third time. 2 to the third is 8. 3 to the third, 27. Okay, let's try 3 to the third first. 3 to the third, 27. And then another one is 4 to the third is 64. So now ask a separate question. 34, is it close to 37 or 27 or close to 64? So this is close to 34, close to 27. So therefore, to the nearest integer, it is 3. 250. You do the same thing. This is up to 5 or 6. Let me think of 5 first. 5 to the third is 125. 6 to the third, let me calculate this part. 6 to the third give you 216. 216. Okay, so 5 is out of reach right now. So 216. Now let's try 7 to the third. 7 to the third, that will give you 343. Now 250, is it close to 216 or close to 343? You can do the minus if you want to. Let me try. If you to get which one closer, you think this number is kind of big, you get 250 minus 216, and then 343 minus 250, and you compare which one closer. The closer, the smaller the number, the closer it is. So that will be your answer. So you do the minus. I'm pretty sure this is close to 261 or 216. So the answer is 6 to the nearest integer. You do the same with the same with the other number 22. Let me do all of this one for you, so that let's give you a better understanding of this part. 22. If you have 2 square or you have 3 square, or this third, sorry, 3 to the third is 27, which is above this number. So you cannot go to 4, you go with 2. 2 to the third is 8. Now, what do you think it is close to? 8 or 27? Close to 8, or close to 27, of course. So this is, will give you as 3. 989. You have 10 to the third is 1000. I don't think you need to bother thinking about 9 to the third, because this number is obviously very close to 1000. So therefore, the answer is 10. You don't need to bother, calculating and wasting of time when you see the answer obviously very close like this. This section, square root 34. If you have 5 square, is 25. If you have 6 square, is 36. So this number in between here, which is the 34. So you think 34 close to this or close to this? Close to 36. So the answer is 6. 250. Previously we were working on this. No. 15. 16 is 1496. 15, we haven't worked on 15. So 15 square, 225. Okay, you have 225 is for 15 square. 16 square, 225 is 25 more to get to 250. Let me think of 16 square. 16 square give you a 256. 256. Okay, 16 square. Alright, so it seems like this number 250 close to 256, so the answer here is 16. Right, we have a few more numbers to complete in this part. Number 9. We have a little leak. The base are square with the side 4 inches. 14 inches, sorry, you have square, side 4 inch, 14 inch. Asking for, not asking. The expression square root of s plus s square plus s square represent the distance of diagonal, the diagonal, question mark right here. S, diagonal across a square of side length s. Okay, so estimate the diagonal across a base to the nearest 10. Alright, the side already given to you. S here is 14, S here is 14. So it seems like you have 14 square plus 14 square. That will give you 392. So you have to write this one down. You have square root of 14 square plus 14 square. That will give you a square root of 392. Now if you are using the square root formula or square root way to by using calculator, square root of 392, that will give you a 19.8. This is the nearest 10, so 19.8. 19.8 is inches. 19.8 inches to the nearest 10. Yep. And for number 10, the formula t is equal to square root of h over 4, represent the time t in second that take an object to fall for a height of h feet. If the rock falls at the height of 125 feet, estimate how long it takes to reach the ground. Estimate how long it takes. Alright, so the h is given, the height. So this is a square root of 125. Square root of t is equal to square root of 125 divided by 4. The square root of 125 and you divide by 4. This is estimated, so it's approximately about 2.8. This is in seconds, so 2.8 seconds. Last number, which is number 11. Amanda purchased a storage cube that has a volume of 4 cubic inch. She wants to put it on the bookshelf. Is 2 inches tall. Will the cube fit? Will the cube fit? One is 4 cubic feet and another one is 12 inches tall. So it seems like this is not possible, which means the answer to this one is no. Why is no? Because 12 inch equal to 1 foot and the cube root of 4 is greater than 1. See this part, 4 cubic feet, 1 in feet and 1 is in inch. Why it cannot be fit or cannot be possible? Because as you can see, 1 foot equal to 12 inches. You have 1 foot equal to 12 inches. And then as you can see that if using the cube root, so to get the cube root of 4, so that it will become also in inches or in feet without the cubic feet. So and the third root of 4, because the volume to find the size of the cube, you need to use the third root is greater than 1. That's why it cannot be fit. Because this is the height of the shelf, only 1 foot actually, only 1 foot, and the square root of 4 here greater than 1, so therefore it cannot be fit. Because this one gonna be longer than the shelf, that's why it cannot be fit. For number 12, Jacob was buying a bag of grass seed. 3-pound bag will cover 1,000 square feet of lawn. Estimate the length of the largest square Jacob could seed if he purchases 5 bags. Okay, you have a square lawn, so 1 bag cover 1,000. So if it is 5 bags, so 1,000 times 5, that will give you a 5,000 square feet. So the question asking for the length of the square, the side length. So side length of the square, they are equal. Now to get, if you want to find area of the square, the side times the side. So side times side, let's say n times n square 5,000. So if you want to find the side length, you using the square root of the area of the square. So in this case, to find the side length of the square, you're using the square root of 5,000. So square root of 5,000, that will give you approximately 70.7 feet. Or you can say 71 or 70 feet. This is because of the word estimate here. Estimated. So I would prefer 70.7. So it's about 70.7 feet. Compare real numbers. first you need to name all sets of numbers to which real number belongs. Okay, first of all, this is a real number, real number, real number, real number. They're all real number. After that, let's furthermore to the subsection of the real number. This is the square root of a not perfect square number. So the square root of a not perfect square number will give you a complicated decimal number. So one is becoming a complicated decimal number, then it belongs to the irrational number. So it is real number and irrational number. Input as real number and then irrational number. 2/3 is the fraction form, so this is real number and rational number. Real number, rational, real number, irrational. This is the decimal, but this is the repeated decimal. So when a number is a repeated decimal, it belongs to rational number. So real number and then rational number. You have to work on this number first. You might think it is a fraction like this part, but this is not really a fraction. If you simplify this, you have 3. So number 3, it belongs to real number, it belongs to rational number. So real number, rational number, it belongs to integer, it belongs to whole number, and it's also belongs to natural number. So it belongs to all of the subsection of real number under the rational section. So number 10 or number 5 all the way through to number 13, comparing real numbers. You can write either bigger, smaller, or equal. You can either using square root of 10 or just 3 times 2 and square root, then you will know. Let me use square root of 10. Square root of 10 that will give you a 3.16. 3.16. So obviously, if 3.16 is so many more numbers to go, but you have 1 and 2 here, so this is bigger. This is 5 and 5. They're safe in the first number, but 1.6664 on and 1/6. Let's choose 1 divided by 6 first. So 1 divided by 6, it also gives you a 16 and so on like this. So therefore this is equal. This number, which means you have 2.21, 21, 21, 21. Let's find square root of 5.2. Square root of 5.2 using square root, that will give you a 2.28. 2.28. So simply you have 2128. This is bigger. 3.5 and 12, square root of 12. Let me using the square root of 12. That will give you a 3.46. 3.46. 3.46 here. Obviously, is bigger. This number. Let me use the third root of this. The third root of 240. The root of 240 that will give you 6.21. 6.21, and this is 6.33333. This is bigger. This is 6.333%. So if you want to divide 240 by 100 to get into percent, you will have 2.4. And this using square root of 5.76. That also give you a 2.4. This is equal. You have 6, you have 3. So you have, let me using 3 square root of 7 first. Square root of 7, and then you plus by 3. That will give you a 5.64. 5.64, and then this bigger. This one. Square root of 2 first. Square root of 2, that will give you 1.41. 1.41, 42, there are other numbers to go. So 4 minus square root of 10, that will give you 0 point something, 0.80 something. So this is bigger. The section 13 and 8 plus. So let me using the square root of 20 first. Square root of 20 plus with 8, that will give you 12.47. 12 is 13, so 13 bigger. For number 14, equation S. Okay, I represent the speed in miles per hour. Mile per hour, square root of 30. F is the feet of skid mark on a friction road. Okay, when you apply the brake, there's a mark on the road that we call a friction mark. Sorry, yeah, this is distance. Okay, distance, which means when you apply the brake, you have distance before it come to a complete stop. It drag across the road and it make a mark. So that distance represents D here, and F here is the friction of the road. So the question is, if this they give us the speed limit 35 miles per hour, that is the limit they give us. And when you apply the brake, your skid mark is 90 feet. Questions like this: how fast are you going? Is it not how fast? What's your car speeding? Is your driving over the limit speed? So before you say yes over the limit speed or not over limit speed, you need to work on this. So S is the speed of a car in miles per hour, time 30, square root of 30 times F here is the friction, which is 0.8 concrete road or dry concrete road friction, and then D here is the skirt mark. Then when you apply and it leave a mark on the road, which is 90 feet long before it comes to a complete stop. So you have 30 multiply by 0.8 and you multiply by 90, that will give you a square root of 2160. To get to the final answer using the square root, supply the square root of that number, that will give you a 46.47 miles per hour. So therefore, this is the speed limit, 35 miles per hour, and your speed when you're riding is 46. So obviously this is over speeding, so which means that the car was speeding, it's driving above the speed limit. So to simply answer the question, you just say yes, the car was speeding. That's all. Number 15, we look through the problem. You can see that the question already given to you, but you need to identify the h and the m. H is the height in centimeter and m is the mass in kilogram. Look through together with me. Now, what is this equation for? When you solve this equation, which means that you're trying to find the area, the surface area of a human body, This equation, when you solve this equation, and the answer of this equation, or this expression, that number represents the surface area of human body in square meter. Now let's try to solve the problem. H is the height, so you have height here 163 times multiplied by which is mass in kilograms, 74. Then you divide everything when you multiply by 3,600. So 183 you multiply by 74. When you get your answer, you let's just do step by step. Multiply together, you have 13,542, and then you divide by 3,600. Divide by 3,600, that will give you the 3 point. Oh, wait, I think there's a mistake I make here. In centimeter, is the mass in kilogram. Let me multiply it again. 183 multiplied by 74. Yeah, that's the number. And then you divide by 360. Okay, I forgot to use the square root, I'm sorry. So once you divide together and then you apply the square root of that quotient, that will give you a 1.94 meters square. So this is the surface area of human body that is for 15 years old with a height of 183 centimeter and a mass of 74 kilograms. So surface area of the person is 1.94 meters square, or square meter. Two more numbers to go. About how much greater is the perimeter of a square with an area 250 square meter than a square with an area of 125 square meter? How many times greater? To find how many times greater, I think just simply you divide. How much greater? Oh, no, not how much. Not how many greater. How much greater? You just do the minus in this part. So you have, about how much greater is the perimeter of a square with an area? Okay, first of all, you need to find the side of the square first, so that you can know the perimeter. The first square, the area 250. That for the first square. Now let me find the side of the first square first. 250 square root of 200. So to get the side, using the square root of 250. Square root of 250. That will give you a 15.81. Yeah, 15.81 is the side of a square. And the second square, which is smaller, with an area of 125 square meter. So to find the side length, square root of 125, square root of 125, that will give you a 11.18. 11.18. Now let's find the perimeter of each of the square first. Perimeter, this four sides, so for 15.81, you times by 4, that will give you 63.24. And then the perimeter of the second square, 11.18, you times by 4 to get the perimeter, that will give you a 44.72. Now you already get the perimeter of the first square and the perimeter of the second square. Now to answer the question, how much greater is the perimeter, so you do the minus. 6324 minus 44.72. Oh, 44.72. That will give you an 18.52 meter. So when you do the minus 63.24 minus 44.72, you will come to the final answer, which is 18.52. This is as in meter. Last number 17. You have sequence 4, 12, and a question mark right here. The missing number can be found by simplifying square root of a times b, where a and b are the number on either side of the missing, not mission, sorry, of the missing number. Is of the missing number. Find the missing number. Okay, so to get the missing number, you're simply using the square root of, because a and b are the number on either side of the missing number. So in this case, 12 is for a, 18 for b. So square root of 12 is a times with b, which is 108. 12 times 108, that will give you the square root of 1296, and when you apply the square root, you will come to the final answer, which is 36.